I didn't want to say anything, but the glove bust on the other side.
Oh, wow.
Wow, yeah, you can see the padding coming out.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be wrong, but I'm like, I look like the glove.
Terence Crawford, David Avenesian, Glovegate. The only way for me to come back is as EGOVELI.
But I've mastered that style. It's like the 5 deadly venoms. So all he had to do was get next to a nigga like that. He could destroy it.
Believe in that. Real. We plan to take the same strategy we used with Death Row West, mind over matter, taking all our weaknesses and making it into our strength. That all these people talk about an East Coast, West Coast war, they like the Judas was to Jesus. They only here to cause confusion. We here to bring money and to bring change. They here to cause confusion. All these weak rappers, Nas, all these suckers, they battling off of East and West like this is a game. This ain't no game. If this was chess, we'd be yelling checkmate 3 years ago, because we've been beat these. It's not a game.
It's not a game. Terence Crawford Glovegate, we back at it. Chapter 4, Section 6, Gloves. Section 6.1. All gloves will be furnished by the promoter and must be new or in good condition. All main event and amateur and professional MMA championship bout contestants must use new gloves. The commissioner may approve exceptions to this regulation. Chapter 5, Professional Boxing. Section 6, Equipment. Section 6.4 reads, the gloves cannot be twisted or manipulated in any way by the contestants or others. If a glove breaks or a string becomes untied during the bout, the referee will instruct the timekeeper to take a timeout while the glove issue is being corrected. All gloves must be checked by a commission official prior to the start of the bouts. Any snag, torn, or unfit gloves will not be approved for competition. You feel me? Will we ride? Let's get it. So I made a video. David Avenesian, he got stretched, wiped out by Terence Crawford. Congratulations on his win. Unfortunately, in round 6, it was discovered that Terence Crawford's gloves, not 1, but 2, were defective. They were busted like Pillsbury buttermilk biscuit. Nothing says loving like my buttermilk biscuit. The referee spotted it. Antonio Tarver said he spotted it, but didn't want to say anything. Shout out to the referee. The referee did their job. Sent Terence Crawford to the corner like a bad child and said, hey, commission, take a look at this glove. Both of them is busted, which Antonio Tarver said he knew. Which the other commentators, like Paulie Malignaggi, he said something like, oh, wow. And then the other commentator says, yes, you can see it. The glove is busted. The glove is busted. Now, I just read the rules from that's the commission right there. I just read the rules for the Nebraska State Commission. You see him looking bewildered, befuddled. He don't know what to do. He looking around. Who you looking at? Both of Crawford's gloves were busted, and he's perplexed. Look at his buddy next to him. They don't know what to do. They said, all right, Crawford, just go in there and do your thing with the 2 busted gloves. Now you see David Avenesian, he's asleep, he's snoring, and that's how it played out. Terence Crawford, he's the victor on BOK Prime Crawford Avenesian. Now, I showed you how it went down. Somehow, some way, I did my first video. Most people understood it, but there were a few detractors. They were saying, oh, Ego, why you hating on Bud Crawford? Why you hating on a black man? No. It don't work like that. When Tyson Fury had a Glovegate, his gloves looked like something were wrong. I talked about it. When Marcos Maidana was fighting Floyd Mayweather and something looked funky with his gloves, I talked about it. You know this because the videos are on my channel. So when Bud has 2 busted gloves in round 6, I'm not supposed to talk about it? Now, y'all not gonna play me. I do my job every day. Every day I do my job. Not when I want to, not every other day. Every day I do it. I'm the king of consistency. I'm the king of this digital boxing talk. You guys know that. So don't get mad at me because I'm Mr. Consistency. Because every time there's an issue in boxing, good, bad, or indifferent, I talk about it. Crawford, no fighter is above the law like Steven Seagal, where I can't talk about it. Bud can fight. You can argue that you feel that Bud Crawford would have beaten David Avenesian either way. But rules are rules. Now, I want to be clear because some people try to put words in my mouth. They try to say, oh, Boxing Ego, what are you saying? I'm telling you what I'm saying. Don't take what I'm saying and then add to it. I'm telling you specifically what I'm saying. The commission mishandled this situation with Bud Crawford per their own rules. Take it how you want. That's what happened. And that's the problem when you have a David Avenesian who's already up against it. He's the underdog. He had to cancel his last fight to fight a lesser person, to fight an elite fighter like Terence Bud Crawford. He has 1 week to acclimate. He just got from UK, different time zone, to Omaha the week of the fight, basically. So he has home court. Crawford has home court advantage. And then to see this in round 6 and nobody seems to want to talk about, nobody's seen nothing. Nobody seems to want to say anything but leave it to Boxing Ego. We here. And again, Crawford, he's a regular mortal man. He eats, breathes like everybody else. And that's what I do on my channel. I don't just give you the boxing news and points of views. Sometimes I give it to you all the time. So I showed you on the screen, these are the Nevada State Athletic Commission, their own rules. Gloves cannot be twisted, manipulated any way by the contestants or others. If a glove breaks or a string becomes untied during the bout, the referee will instruct the timekeeper to take a timeout. Ref did her job. It was a female referee. I don't have her name, but shout out to her. She did her part. It says, while the glove issue is being corrected, all gloves must be checked by a commission, yada, yada, yada. We went over that at the start of this video. So the referee, I ain't got no beef with you. You did what you were supposed to do as a referee. You seen Crawford. He was winning the fight. He was in with an overmatched opponent and he was beating Avenesian. No problem. But both of his gloves by round 5 or 6 were defective. So the ref did her part. Simply put, the commission did not. The commission looked, seen that the man had busted gloves, and they said, all right, what do you want us to do about it? And allowed the fight to continue. Is that fair rules across the board? Like, and see, this is the thing. Some of y'all try to make this about me. Oh, you're hating on Terence Crawford. This ain't that. This is not about hating on Terence Crawford. If Crawford decided the money was to fight Avenesian in the UK, and that's what was decided, and he fought David Avenesian in the UK, and David Avenesian, both of his gloves by round 6 was busted, then I would say the same thing. It don't matter who. That's what y'all not understand. It don't matter who the characters are. Rules are rules, and if we want to uphold and have integrity, then you police the rules the same. Now, I got to talk about it because some people are saying, oh, you're hating on the black man and all that. Man, stop it. Miss me. Because BLK Prime put Paulie Malignaggi, who is the most anti-black voice that we have in boxing, or at least one of them, they put him on the telecast. Miss me with that. I'm EGOVELI. So don't tell me about black this and black people just hating and all that stuff. And you put Paulie Malignaggi on the telecast and had him calling this main event. But then there's reports and basically rumors that Malik Scott, who trains Wilder, a black heavyweight, was thought to be like, you know, a commentating voice. But they said Bud Crawford didn't want Malik Scott for whatever reason to do the commentary. So don't tell me about black this and black that. Besides, if Jeffrey Dahmer was black, all the same crimes. Let's say his name was Jeffrey Dahmer. I would say the same thing about him. So again, I do my job every day. Every day I do my job. It don't matter if Jeffrey Dahmer was a black person, then he would get the same. I would be like, that's disgusting. You're despicable. It's reprehensible. Blah, blah, blah. You know, I'm supposed to like the DC sniper because he black? So don't try to throw it on me and say, I'm not doing my job. I do my job and push it to the max every day. Not some days, not every other day. Every day I do that. So, you know, people acting like Terence Crawford, like we can't have conversations about Bud. The Bud buddy saying we can't talk about Bud because it's Bud. Great. He beat an overmatched opponent. He whooped him, shocking KO, but rules were not followed. Period. It don't matter who it was. And again, I promise you, people, they can say whatever they want about me. But my record, my G-files speak for themselves. If Errol Spence was fighting Ugas and both of his gloves was blown out, wonder why Mob Deep wonder why blow them out. Next time grown folks talking, close your mouth. Peep me. If both of his gloves was blown out and then all of a sudden he start upping the tempo and destroying Ugas's eye, I would say the same thing, because that's what it is and that's rules. And that's what some of you have a problem with, integrity. You don't have integrity. It's just depending on the fight. If Canelo had these gloves, everybody would be saying, oh, why are you fighting Caleb Smith with 2 busted gloves and they not switching them out per the commission's own rules? But because somehow, some way, because it's Bud Crawford, I'm supposed to just ignore it and act like that's cool. What should have happened is you take a timeout like the ref did, switch the gloves out, and then Bud finishes his job. That's what, per their own rules, should have happened. Period. You can say whatever you want. Take that up with you. It says more about you than about me if you're not willing to enforce the rules. Like if you're a police officer and everybody's speeding and then you say, oh, you black, I'm gonna give you a pass. But everybody else who's speeding, you give them a ticket. That's not right. And it definitely wouldn't be the opposite way if you only ticketed black people who are speeding, but you let all these other blonde hair, blue eyed girls and stuff get away with speeding. That's not fair either. So we gotta have a set of rules and commissions that know what they're doing, and this should definitely be a topic, period. So I love challenges. I love obstacles. I love when people try to prove me wrong, but not this time, Utah. You can't prove me wrong. The only way you can prove me wrong, and see, this is what happens when you're great, such as myself. People take what you say and they try to bend it, pull it, twist it, and make it into something it wasn't. Like, oh, you said this about Crawford. I said the same thing that I'm saying now. When a person has busted gloves like Crawford did in the fight, you should not be able to continue that fight with said pair of gloves. Some people are like, oh, but Everlast took responsibility and put out a press release and said, oh, my bad, the gloves were defective. Okay, so that doesn't change anything. So we're talking about the handling, the way this was handled. So great, Everlast said that they used bad material, and that still doesn't justify why the commission looked at the gloves, didn't actually touch them, seen that they were busted per their own Nevada State Commission rules. They went against the rules. They all looked flabbergasted and just said, keep fighting. And then he knocked them out. You cannot tell me that is fair. And how can it be fair when I'm showing you it went against Nevada Commission's own rules? No matter if you love Crawford, if you're from Omaha, if your last name's Crawford, none of that matters. This is their rules. This is when I ride. So you can't prove me wrong unless you can magically go to Nebraska Athletic Commission and magically erase their own rules that are written on their own website outlining what to do when gloves break, tear, bend, twist, devoid of padding, etc., or otherwise there's a defect. So I get it. Everlast is saying that there's a defect with their gloves. You still haven't explained the other side, the Bud Buddies, of why the proper, per their own commission rules, protocol was not followed, meaning you continue the break until you sort that out, switch the gloves up, and then Crawford can get back to work. And EGOVELI firmly believes, had this been a bigger commission like Nevada, in Las Vegas, or New York, or even Cali, that the rules would have been followed. And if they have this in print, they would have followed it, because these are big, reputable commissions that have a lot on the line. And if they don't follow, if they have this like hiccup and they don't follow the protocol, then people are going to demand answers and ask questions. But when you're in the middle of nowhere, when you're in Nebraska or a smaller, inexperienced commission that don't always have big magnitude fights, especially in boxing, this is what happens. Things fall beside the waistline. And here's the thing. Of course, David Evanesian's team is going to use it. He got brutally knocked out and they didn't follow the rules. So I'm always right. You set yourself up. You set yourself up for the criticism when you don't follow the rules and you bend the rules, and then it's exposed that you bent the rules, because now you give people a way out. So Terence Crawford, he gave he gave Avenesian's team the opportunity to even complain, versus all of his other knockouts that were with Top Rank. He got all knockouts at welterweight. Never happened until he got on BLK Prime and he was his own boss and he decided to do things his way. And then all of a sudden you got misspellings and the wrong date on the flyer. You got discrepancies with the amount of money that he said he's getting versus what's being reported. You got an undercard that sucks, etc., etc. So don't blame Boxing Ego because I keep it even Steven. I didn't bust up Terence Crawford's gloves. I didn't make the Nevada Commission rules. So I see the chatter. I hear the chatter. They like, oh, Boxing Ego, you hating. Telling the truth is not hating. Speaking facts is not hating. Commission rules what to do in those said situations. They did not follow their own rules. That's not an boxing ego problem. That's a commission problem and a procedural problem, not a boxing EGOVELI problem. So I love it. I love the controversy. I love when they talk about me. I love when I'm backed against the wall and I'm forced to prove what I said was true, and I always deliver. I'm like a pizza place. I'm like Domino's. I'm knocking them down like Domino's. I always deliver in 30 minutes or less. So again, this is people are, oh, why are you making it about me? I didn't bust up his gloves. I wasn't at the fight. I didn't promote the fight. I wasn't nothing to do with the fight. But rules are rules. And I would do the same thing if David Avenesian. Can you imagine if Terence Crawford decided, like BLK decided, this is the place to put the fight in the UK, and then the same thing happened with David Avenesian, and then all of a sudden, we'll not say knockout, but let's just say Terence Crawford got dropped, and he got dropped in a fashion we haven't seen, and this was moments after David Avenesian in the UK where he lives was called to the side because his gloves were busting open. No matter what you say, the optics look bad. I never said Crawford did it. I never said Crawford tampered with it and delete. I didn't say that, so don't put words in my mouth. What I said was this was handled wrong, and we all know how it should have been handled, and I've explained it throughout this video. I'm the God. Checkmate. Introducing Super Thanks. Right here on the official Boxing Ego YouTube. Super Thanks allows you, the viewers, to show a little bit of extra gratitude, which enables me as a full-time content creator to push out the content you need in the world of boxing. Underneath all the videos, you will see a heart with the $sign in it. You can enter any amount that you find suitable as a super thanks. A brand new interactive and colorful way to get your comments highlighted and noticed by not only myself, but other people on the YouTube platform. Super thanks, a unique and cool way to show and applaud us full-time content creators. Hopefully you guys enjoy the content. Super thanks. The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster. We working.